The Chevy Silverado. I've been getting a service trailer brake readout on the instrument cluster. So I'm gonna use the Bosch 625X. We'll do a scan, see what happens. Okay, here's our results. And there it is. We've got a manual trailer brake apply request, signal 2, malfunction. No trailer has been attached to this vehicle ever, so I'm not sure if it's maybe something wrong with the switch here, because it's saying manual trailer brake apply request, which would only make sense that it's coming from the manual switch. But all right, so let's see what they say here. A frequently reported fix is the trailer brake control switch, which is that, and let's see what they do. They replaced it. So before we actually go and replace anything, let's see if this thing's even actually working. So I'll go ahead and test the switch while I'm pressing the button here. You guys can watch the game. See? Game, the buttons are working properly. Negative, it's going down. Yeah, so that's not, I don't think there's anything wrong with the switch. Maybe up here is possible, but I think it's time to drop the tire and just start checking our the electrical connections at the module. Make sure we got our powers and grounds and signal between the chassis control auxiliary module and the trailer brake control module. So you'll get your lowering tool from underneath the back seat of your truck, and you'll insert it here. First use your ignition key and loosen up this lock here. You'll turn it clockwise to unlock, slide it out. It's got a keyway on the top, so it goes back in the same way. And you'll insert your tool into this hole, and you'll be able to lower your tire, your spare. Some people like to just lower it a little bit and work around it, but if you're working back here, you want to be able to access everything easily. So this is your chassis auxiliary module, and there's two more here, and there might be one on top also of the chassis module. I'll have to look at the wiring diagram and figure out which one's which, but I know this is the chassis auxiliary module here. So I'm going to check my my hots and my grounds here at the wiring connector. I could back probe, or I can just, disconnect here and go in here. But disconnecting here, you want to be careful with these. I've actually had about a year ago somebody look at this before, and I think they broke the tab there. Everything looks like it's in place though. It looks like the tab is broken on this one. And there's a module on the top here, this module, and I believe there's one, I'm pretty sure there's one on top up there. And I'll also check my back probe, my actual plug. I don't think the problem's with the plug. And check any other wiring I have going to it too. All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to check our wiring diagrams and see where our power supplies are going to the trailer brake control module. And we also see that there's a data line going between the trailer brake control power control module and the chassis control module. And here we have a fuse number 1, 30 amp, which is a J case, fuse number 19, and fuse number 34, which are your power supplies to the chassis control module. Because data does go through this chassis control module and to the trailer brake control module, and it's just one single line. There's no other brakes. It's not connected to anything else. It is possible that the fault could be in the chassis control module. So we're not just going to go and start throwing parts at it. We're not just going to buy a switch for the dashboard. We're not going to just go buy a new trailer brake power control module or chassis control module. We're going to test these powers and grounds. So this J case is your number 1 that goes to the trailer brake control module. I already opened it up and tested it. It's perfectly fine. This number 10 here is your number 19 that goes to the chassis control module. And then this 15 right here is the fuse number 34 that goes to the chassis control module. Also for the, I think that one's for the ignition. And here's the, I'll give you guys a quick view of the fuse box label in case yours is damaged. This may help you. You can always hit pause if you need to see it. Now with the ignition on, let's go start up our voltmeter. Here we go. We're going to go to digital multimeter. We're going to go to volts, DC. I know that there is continuity in the fuses. Let's just check. Let's put our negative on a ground. Let's see. That should be good. We'll find out in just a second. And let's just test, see if we got power on both sides of the fuse. There we got approximately 10 or 11 volts on one side and on the other side. Okay, so let's come over here, make sure we got power on our chassis control module, and we have it on one side. And let's check the other side, and we have power on the other side. So we definitely have power going from our battery to our fuses, directing back towards the rear of the vehicle. Here I can open up the J case here for the number 1 fuse, and you can see there we go. It's fluctuating. But when I push hard down on it, it gets me 11.7. And I did also check the fitment that the fuses all fit. Now we know we have power supply back to the trailer brake control module. We'll go ahead and close up our box. You can even shut down the hood, and we'll move to the back underneath the vehicle to check powers and grounds at the modules. I'm back underneath the rear of the vehicle, and I'm pointing towards the front. This is the rear shock on the driver's side. Now I've seen these in a couple different layouts. This is your chassis control module auxiliary. And in my case, I checked the wires, and this is my trailer brake control module in the rear underneath the bed of the truck, which means that the one on top would be I'm pretty sure would be the fuel pump control module. But here, so over here, you see this is our ground, and according to the wiring diagram, the ground junctions with a few others, especially the one with the chassis control module. So here we have our black is our ground in pin 9 first, and I do also have to check that the red and green with the green stripe has my battery positive coming from the fuse box of 30 amps, which was approximately 12 volts. And I'll check my ground. So I'm going to check my battery feed and my ground first, and then we'll back probe and see if everything else is going good. Let's start by checking our power and ground here. Supply from the fuse box and the ground to the chassis. Here we'll go ahead and turn on our Triton D10 scope, digital multimeter, check volts. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and let me see if I can set you guys up where you can see all right what I'm doing. I think, let me see from there, that you should be all right. So we're going to go ahead and see my red and green. Probe in there. Never mind the mosquitoes. Get to watch them for free. All right, and let's see what happens in our ground, and there we got it. So we got 12.18. So I got our voltage back here to the trailer brake control module. That doesn't seem to be the problem. Got power and ground. Next thing was check pin fitment, and pin fitment is all good with all of my connectors. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this, take it down, see if I see any water intrusion. So I removed and cleaned the unit, and There is no corrosion whatsoever, not even any oxidation. Underneath is clean, no burns, no nothing. Only thing I notice is right here, it looks like there's some silicone or whatever they use when they seal up the unit. Looks like it's missing, but I'm sure there's more underneath it. See right there. Again, go ahead and check our power and ground on the chassis control module. First, pull that red tab back. Pull this cap here. Just knock out any dirt we got there. And I can see initially no corrosion at all on the connectors. None. None whatsoever. So pin 1 and pin 13 at either end there, the big blocks at either end, are our power and ground to the chassis control module auxiliary. So we're going to go ahead and test that, cross that for with the voltmeter, make sure we have our powers and grounds here. Then we're going to check continuity between the data bus lines, between the chassis control module auxiliary and the trailer brake control module. Checking our power and ground, and we have power and ground going to the chassis control module. So we also have ignition power going. So powers and leads, grounds, all good. Ignition, battery power, ground to chassis. Chassis control module is getting power supplies. So now, the next thing would be to test our data line. Number 30 on the chassis control module, and continuity to number 12 on the trailer brake control module, which is the green and violet wire. So we go ahead and back probe into this is number 12 on the trailer brake control power control module, and we're going to back probe into number 30 on the chassis control module auxiliary. So here's 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And we have continuity. So we definitely have continuity here. All right, so now the next one is we need to check from number 2 on the power control module for the trailer brake, which is our yellow. Number 2 is white and black. And that's 1, so this is number 2 here. And that's going to connect to number 23 on the chassis control module. Again, there's 25. So that would be 24, 23. And we have continuity. Okay. Now let's check continuity between number 5 over here. Okay. And number 22 over here. 5, 24, 23, 22. And we have continuity there. Okay. So all power connections between the battery and back here to both modules is working. Everything is working. Everything is connected. There's no wiring issues between the front and the back. So that goes down to, narrows it down to, somehow we have a bad module. anything I got?
That's it. After I've tested all the wiring, power and grounds to both modules, and data links between both modules, everything's got continuity. There's no issues, other issues with any of the other modules or parts that are connected to the chassis control module auxiliary. The only problem I'm having is with the trailer brake control module, and again, all the wiring is functioning as it should. So I guess I'm going to have to call it as the chassis control module. When we're done diagnosing our positive and negatives and our data lines, and go ahead and return the tire back up.